Hey, it's Mina, and here's what I've been cooking lately. A bunch of easy and comforting meals that I very much recommend you try and recreate. This video does not encompass everything I ate. Just whenever I decided to do some actual cooking, that's when I whipped out my camera. Now, for most of these recipes, I got my inspiration from a pretty scary place. Lots of aspects of this website are beyond unhinged, but there are some wholesome areas. It was definitely super fun to look through it and find things that I wanted to veganize. Also, this video is brought to you by Squarespace. Monday night, I made some pasta, which turned out so good. It was inspired by this longer post here that describes how to make Puttanesca type pasta. Add some salt to a pot with boiling water, then add in your pasta of choice. Meanwhile, mince a few cloves of garlic, an onion, and a handful of olives. About halfway through boiling the pasta, I added some dry soy granules to the boiling water, giving everything another 4 to 5 minutes. Next, I added a couple tablespoons of olive oil to a big skillet, then added the chopped garlic, onion, olive mix, brought it to medium heat, and allowed everything to cook for about 5 minutes. Meanwhile, I cut up a bunch of cherry tomatoes. Then I added those to the pan as well, giving everything another 5-6 minutes. I then drained the pasta plus soy bits. The anchovies in this recipe I'm substituting with a sheet of nori that I ripped to bits, plus some miso paste. Now I'll pour in either some pasta water. I forgot to save the pasta water, and so I did some in water dissolved cornstarch, which I would actually recommend more than the pasta water. Season with chili flakes, salt, and pepper, and allow everything to simmer for about 5 minutes. Mix in the drained pasta and soy, add some fresh herbs if you'd like, taste test, adjust everything with some more salt. It was so cozy. I wanted to share Tuesday's breakfast as well. Despite it being super basic, it was incredibly fancy at the same time. So yeah, I'm making my basic oatmeal by adding all the ingredients to the pot, mixing that well, and letting everything simmer over medium heat for about 6 minutes. But now what I really wanted to put you guys on to is the topping: bitter-sweet chocolate chips, a drizzle of olive oil, and a pinch of flaky sea salt. The chocolate works as a sweetener here since we didn't add any sugar to the oatmeal base, so you can go crazy with the chocolate here, in my opinion. But when it comes to the oil and the salt, less is more. But yeah, the combination of all three is so nice. Tuesday evening, I made vegan shakshuka. This idea is inspired by a blog post that I will link down below. The recipe starts with you just chopping up a bell pepper, some garlic, and an onion. Then you bring a large pot with olive oil up to medium high heat, add in the onion, pepper, garlic, and give everything about 6 to 8 minutes. Next, add in paprika spice, cumin, and some chopped blended tomatoes. Bring this up to a quick boil, add a tiny bit of sugar or agave and salt, and then leave this to simmer for 10 minutes. Hello! Oh my god, it smells amazing. Look, here my friend brought homemade banana bread. But yes, back to the tomato recipe. As the tomato sauce is simmering, place some firm tofu in a food processor together with vinegar, non-dairy milk, salt, turmeric, and some kala namak if you wish.
That's so weird. I don't know how to explain it. I'm sorry. I'm just not.
Taste test the sauce, make sure you're happy with it before adding the tofu in heaping tablespoons. Then put the lid back on and give it another 5 to 10 minutes. And that's it. I serve this with a tiny bit of spinach, some toasted bread, some sesame seeds. Any leftovers I reheated the next morning, just putting that on toast. Also, I don't know why I keep torturing myself drinking iced latte. The only other meal I deemed worthy of filming that day was this super satisfying miso soup. It's a one-pot recipe, so here I'm just adding some spring onion, half of a vegetable broth cube, some agave syrup, a little bit of vinegar, some hot water. I'm bringing this up to a simmer. In the meantime, I'm chopping up one bok choy. I went to the Asian food store that day and I picked up the bok choy alongside these dumplings and some edamame. I also got mochi there, which are really good. Next, I added some miso paste to the broth, mixed that up well, then the edamame, the dumplings, the bok choy. Put the lid on and let everything simmer for about 5 minutes. I finished off my soup with some chili crisp oil, sesame seeds. I had like 5 minutes to eat. I was heading to a concert. To me, it's just a mystery and a lie we tell. Together we can prove that it's just a bad vibe. You don't understand what you don't need to do it. Savory pancakes I've been really enjoying lately as well. Inspired by this Reddit post here, I decided to go with a vegan sausage flavor. So I'm chopping up some vegan sausage here. And I also had some more bok choy from the night before left over. I'm bringing my skillet to medium heat with a bit of olive oil, and then I added both the sausage and the greens, cooking everything for about 6 minutes. In the meantime, I'm putting together the batter for the pancakes. I'm adapting the pancake recipe from my cookbook here. I genuinely, to this day, use my cookbook all the time. A link to the book is down below, but you could get it and order it from pretty much anywhere there's books. So I'm mixing this up, frying my pancakes. Take about 3 to 4 minutes per side. You could super easily meal prep this recipe as well. Just double, triple, quadruple the amount of ingredients used and then keep them in the freezer for a couple weeks. And whenever you are ready for another pancake, you can just throw them in the toaster. On Friday, I made the miso dumpling soup again because I had all the ingredients. I had quite a bit of that broth left over from lunch, and then I reused that for dinner, simply just by stretching the broth with a bit more water and miso paste and adding some glass noodles. And then I also made my crispy go-to tofu that I've shared on this YouTube channel at least 100 times. But yeah, I could also never get sick of it. It's like 3 ingredients. It's so easy. You chop up tofu, you add flour or starch and salt, you mix that, add it to a pan with a bit of oil, heat on medium to medium high, and just let it cook for like 6 to 8 minutes, mixing frequently. It's a great topping for any soup or sandwich or just a snack on its own. And then I was off to the cinema to go see Anora, which was so unlike the trailer, if you've seen that. It's definitely a crazy movie. I did not expect it to be this comedic. Still sad, but funny. Saturday morning, I whipped up some pie crust. As one does. This was for these savory little pies that I filled with marinara sauce, black beans, and vegan cheese. I made these for a movie night, and although they were definitely not the neatest looking, they were really fun to make and really delicious. To make the pie dough, I grabbed my food processor and added all-purpose flour, a spoonful of sugar, salt, blending that for a few seconds. Then I grabbed some cold vegan butter and cut that into cubes. Then adding the butter to the food processor as well and blending once again until the butter is distributed evenly. Next, I added 1 to 2 tablespoons of iced water at a time, blending in between. until the dough holds together easily. At this point, you transfer it to a floured surface, bring everything together with your hands, smoothing out the dough, creating one big ball, which you're going to wrap in some cling foil and place into the fridge for at least a couple hours. I find it easiest to roll out half the dough at a time, once again on a floured surface. First, I'm warming the dough up a bit with my hands, and then I make sure that my rolling pin is floured as well. Roll it out as thin as you can get it to be without the dough breaking, and then you cut out circles, either using a big cookie cutter, a glass, a small bowl. Make sure to re-roll the scraps, and eventually you can roll out the second half if you're going for a bigger batch. Of course, you can shortcut this recipe by buying your own pie crust or puff pastry even. I am so excited with how this pie crust turned out. Anyway, I'm about to fill these with tomato sauce, vegan cheese, and a pasta sauce. This is the moment where I realized that I'm actually just making empanadas. I thought I came up with something new. Bake the pies until golden brown and then serve them with whatever you like. My friends brought more movie snacks. We had sweet and salty popcorn and homemade walnut cookies. We watched Practical Magic, kind of a feel-good 90s movie that I know is a classic. I just had never seen it. I could simply not get over the looks that were being pulled by both Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock. It really is crazy how trends constantly repeat themselves, because this looks like a 2024 Pinterest board. Sunday morning, I had the last few pies as a sort of pre-breakfast snack alongside a matcha. And that is it from me today. I hope you enjoyed these snippets of my week. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, or to save it for future reference. And now here is a quick thank you to my sponsor, Squarespace. Squarespace makes it really easy to create a beautiful website, connect to your audience, share your art, sell your products, sell your content, and more. Start by choosing from their wide range of professionally designed website templates to get started, or build your site from scratch if you prefer. Also, create a new logo. While you're at it, have your website quickly get discovered with their optimized SEO tools, meaning you will show up more often in people's search engines and therefore grow your brand and business the way you want. If you need extra help, don't hesitate to ask their 24/7 award-winning customer service. Start today. Go to squarespace.com/MeNowRome and use the code MeNowRome to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.